Hello. Welcome back to a Pub in the Life. As we are walking again with my fellow dog friend, Ambra, we are actually in one of my favorite places as we're recording this podcast. And there is an actual place also to, not to sunbathe actually, but just, go in this water pond or something, as you call it. Actually, where a river is born. I have no idea how that's called in a spring. Okay, it's a spring. And so we're here, going, just having a walk around and just living our best life. So today, can you hear the spring? Here it is. So, today, lots of stuff to be talking about. I just wanted to share something around something that happened to Mom quite some moments ago, which relates to the ability of a startup to be able to deliver to big clients. So, Mom has had this call, which was like the third call or something, with a very big Italian company. I'm not going into details. It doesn't matter. Sector doesn't matter. Industry doesn't matter. Context even doesn't matter. You just need to know they're starting to test brand plane, Mom software, for some of their employees, and then they're just doing actually a pilot project around it. And so this call was with the privacy team. And so first off, this company has an actual privacy team, which is separate from the actual legal team. Vergola! Bye! So it's separate, and it's interesting because if you think about it, you think about privacy as a legal thing, but this is actually something different. They also have an IP team that's even separate than the legal team. So like really big structure. And so they were asking for some documents, for some questions around data usage and whatnot, which is totally fine. And they were doing their compliance, right? And so it's not the first time of doing this in the first place as an entrepreneur with Mom. It's not the first time that Mom is doing that also for brand plane, because they already sold to big companies. But truth is, even though they sold to Italian Ministry of Tourism that did a lot of due diligence, as you can imagine, this was something that was actually the first time that was so in depth and actually like in front. They were asking for documents via email, and they actually wanted us to meet. So I just wanted to give out some thoughts about the relationship between two totally different breeds that are startups and very big companies that sometimes are even public companies. Now, you're not going to meet loads of such companies. Now, I hope you do, but it's obvious that most of your potential clients, like you just can't count them as these big companies, just like in the palm of your hand, if you're lucky enough in the first year of your startup. So it's kind of saying that this goes for some specific case that you're going to probably feel like you're going to encounter later on in your journey. But the best thing that you can do right now is just to prepare yourself, because when it comes. Ambra! Eh! And if you don't, I see that's my friend. And if you're not prepared, then you're going to get screwed. Maybe you're going to lose a deal. Maybe it's going to take longer, whatever. So first off, remember, they have a legal team and you don't. So this is the first thing that you need to understand when dealing with such type of clients. Having the best option available for you in terms of legal team and privacy team is something that you need to take care of from day zero. We've actually run with our bare hands at first, then we got our legal counsel, and then we're probably going to switch again for this exact reason, because we need to be more structured, not for this client, but I'm saying for in general as a team for the current endeavors. So it takes more time, it takes more effort, it takes more peculiarity of the things that the legal team actually does. Of course, you're not going to internalize it, but please take this into account. I know it's boring, but you need to take care of it. Second, they have more time than you do. They are more used to move very slow Rather than startups, we're actually very used to move fast. Don't expect that the thing is going to close in 15 days, a month, even 2 months. This is recording in July. We started talking with these people, with mom, in May. It's probably going to be closing in October. Please understand this. It's not their fault. And trust me, it's their biggest problem, probably internally, having lots of resources, but having them all tied up into one another. And this means having to actually take care of the fact that, unfortunately, it takes time. It takes time to manage them all, and it takes time. Third, money is not their problem. But this doesn't mean that they're going to spend whatever they have just because they have it. So don't focus on the price, but be very transparent on your pricing strategy and what is the value that you're going to give. This is something that goes for actually everybody. Ragazze! This goes for everybody that you encounter, because if they don't perceive the value, then they're not going to buy. But to be honest, it's something that you also need to take into account once you talk with bigger companies. They might have money tied up into budgets of different buckets. So imagine, for example, Brand Plane talks with the marketing, talks with communications, internal communication. It talks with HR for employer branding. It talks with compliance. And now we're talking about 4 different buckets. Can you imagine if you talk to the sales team, it's going to be 5. So it's also a good thing, because maybe you can just expand your offer to different budgets. But at first, it's usual that you just go into one single budget, one single offer, 3 to 6 months time, test it out, make them pay so they're committed. Ciao, Ambra! But yeah, this is something that you need to take care of beforehand. Just realize it, and then have a clear strategy on how you're going to go on to next. Fourth thing, Fourth thing is going to be that you need to train these freaking people. You don't give them the software, you don't give them the product and say, hey, this is it, buy. It's not going to happen like this in 99% of the cases, except that you sold something that's so obvious. But this also means that you might have lots of competition. So do it like this. Just train them. 5, customer success. I didn't know, mom didn't know either what customer success was before actually running Brand Plane. Customer success is a person that actually just makes sure that the people are happy. What does it mean, happy? It means that they paid for something they're using. And so if they don't see the value, back to the point 3 of the value, they are not going to pay. So I think pay again, of course. And you need to take care of retention rather than first conversion. So these are the 5 things that I take away from this call. And a bonus one is, don't expect already what all these people are doing in the call. What is their role? You're never going to understand for real. So it takes time. It takes probably years in the relationship with a big corp to understand what's the role of any person. You just need to understand who's actually the one who decides. Everybody just gives their opinion. Might be useful, might be not. It really depends on the decision maker idea around it. But all in all, please expect delays. Please expect lots of time. Please expect to gather information that is not clear at first. And yeah, this is mainly what I'm thinking about right now. Just overhearing mom's call. All in all, as a startup, somebody would say, why just bother going into this target? Well, you better going because they validate you, because the big problems that you face for them, you can face them smaller for other clients, because they have the money to pay you for something, that a feature that's been asking. We have a couple of them in Brand Plane with mom that people have been asking for, that you don't know when to put in the roadmap because you don't have the space to do so. And so all in all, it's a good investment, but take this as an investment. Now, you can also be trained, because sometimes this slowness of the people and the slowness of the processes, it's not people's fault, it's the processes, you're going to then see in bigger companies as well, which might be corps, but not such big corps. Or even in smaller companies sometimes, if processes are not that clear, if resources are not fairly allocated, by fairly I mean evidently allocated, and so on. So please remember this. half of a decalogue, pentalogue, we would call it, so that you know how to deal with these prospective customers. Then, if you want, I'm going to go into how to get them, maybe on LinkedIn or whatever. There is a tactic, and it works, or more than one. But let me know if you want to know this, and I will send you kisses, hugs, and a bit of barks. Bye!